Hello, world. Welcome, I am your host Mr. Stag. Today we will be taking a deep dive into the life story of Alexander Karp and his company Palantir Technologies Incorporated, ticker symbol pltr. Alexander Caedmon Karp, born October 2, 1967, is an American billionaire businessman, and the co-founder and CEO of the software firm Palantir Technologies. As of February 2022, his estimated net worth is US $1.2 billion. Alexander Caedmon Karp was born in New York City, the son of a Jewish father and an African-American mother. Karp was raised in Philadelphia and graduated from Central High School in 1985. He has said he struggled with dyslexia from an early age. Karp earned a bachelor's degree from Haverford College. In 1989, he earned a Juris Doctor, JD, degree from Stanford University. In 1992, and he earned a doctor's degree in neoclassical social theory from Goethe University in 2002. Karp has said he successfully invested in startups and stocks after receiving an inheritance from his grandfather. Karp founded the London-based money management firm Caedmon Group. In 2004, along with Peter Thiel, who had been a classmate at Stanford, and others, he co-founded Palantir. Palantir Technologies is a public American software company that specializes in big data analytics. Palantir Technologies also builds and deploys software platforms for the intelligence community in the United States to assist in counterterrorism investigations and operations. Headquartered in Denver, Colorado, it was founded by Peter Thiel, Nathan Gettings, Joe Lonsdale, Stephen Cohen, and Alex Karp in 2003. The company's name is derived from the Lord of the Rings, where the magical Palantiri were seeing stones, described as indestructible balls of crystal used for communication and to see events in other parts of the world. The company is known for three projects in particular: Palantir Gotham, Palantir Apollo, and Palantir Foundry. Palantir Gotham is used by counterterrorism analysts at offices in the United States intelligence community, USIC, and United States Department of Defense. In the past, Gotham was used by fraud investigators at the Recovery Accountability and Transparency Board, a former U.S. federal agency which operated from 2009 to 2015. Gotham was also used by cyber analysts at Information Warfare Monitor, a Canadian public-private venture which operated from 2003 to 2012. Palantir Apollo is the operating system for continuous delivery and deployment across all environments. Palantir Foundry is used by corporate clients such as Morgan Stanley, Merck Car, Airbus, Well, Lilium, and Fiat Chrysler Automobiles NV. Palantir's original clients were federal agencies of the USIC. It has since expanded its customer base to serve state and local governments, as well as private companies in the financial and healthcare industries. Though usually listed as having been founded in 2004, SEC filings state Palantir's official incorporation to be in May 2003 by Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, who named the startup after the Seeing Stone in Tolkien's Legendarium. Thiel saw Palantir as a mission-oriented company which could apply software similar to PayPal's fraud recognition systems to reduce terrorism while preserving civil liberties. In 2004, Thiel bankrolled the creation of a prototype by PayPal engineer Nathan Gettings and Stanford University students Joe Lonsdale and Stephen Cohen. That same year, Thiel hired Alex Karp, a former colleague of his from Stanford Law School, as chief executive officer. The only early investments were $2 million from the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency's venture capital arm in QTEL, and $30 million from Thiel himself and his venture capital firm, Founders Fund. Palantir developed its technology by computer scientists and analysts from intelligence agencies over 3 years, through pilots facilitated by InQ Telephone in 2009 and 2010 respectively. Information Warfare Monitor used Palantir software to uncover the Ghost Net and the Shadow Network. The GhostNet was a China-based cyber-espionage network targeting 1,295 computers in 103 countries, including the Dalai Lama's office, a NATO computer and various national embassies. The Shadow Network was also a China-based espionage operation that hacked into the Indian security and defense apparatus. Cyber spies stole documents related to Indian security and NATO troop activity in Afghanistan. In April 2010, Palantir announced a partnership with Thomson Reuters to sell the Palantir Metropolis product as QA Studio, a quantitative analysis tool. On June 18, 2010, Vice President Joe Biden and Office of Management and Budget Director Peter Thiel held a press conference at the White House announcing the success of fighting fraud in the stimulus by the Recovery Accountability and Transparency Board, RATB. Biden credited the success to the software, Palantir, being deployed by the federal government. He announced that the capability will be deployed at other government agencies, starting with Medicare and Medicaid. Palantir had $250 million in revenue in 2011. In August 2016, Palantir acquired data visualization startup Silk. Palantir is one of 4 large technology firms to start working with the NHS on supporting COVID-19 efforts through the provision of software from Palantir Foundry, and by April 2020 several countries have used Palantir technology to track and contain the contagion. Palantir also developed Tiberius, a software for vaccine allocation used in the United States. In 2018, Morgan Stanley valued the company at $6 billion. It ultimately went public on the New York Stock Exchange through a direct public offering on September 30, 2020, under the ticker symbol pltr at $10 a share, valued at $22 billion. Palantir's products include: Palantir Gotham is a predictive policing system. Palantir Metropolis, formerly known as Palantir Finance, was software for data integration, information management and quantitative analytics. The software connects to commercial, proprietary and public data sets and discovers trends, relationships and anomalies, including predictive analytics. Aided by 120 forward-deployed engineers of Palantir during 2009, Peter Thiel III of JP Morgan used Metropolis to monitor employee communications and alert the insider threat team when an employee showed any signs of potential disgruntlement. The insider alert team would further scrutinize the employee and possibly conduct physical surveillance after hours with bank security personnel. The Metropolis team used emails, download activity, browser histories, and GPS locations from JP Morgan-owned smartphones and their transcripts of digitally recorded phone conversations to search, aggregate, sort, and analyze this information for any specific keywords, phrases, and patterns of behavior. Palantir Apollo is a continuous delivery system that manages and deploys Palantir Gotham and Foundry. Apollo was built out of the need for customers to use multiple public and private cloud platforms as part of their infrastructure. Apollo orchestrates updates to configurations and software in the Foundry and Gotham platforms using a microservice architecture. This product allows Palantir to provide software as a service, SaaS, rather than to operate as a consulting company. Palantir Foundry was used by NHS England in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic in England to analyse the operation of the vaccination programme. Palantir Metropolis is used by hedge funds, banks, and financial services firms. Palantir Foundry clients include Merck, Airbus and Ferrari. Palantir's software is used by the Recovery Accountability and Transparency Board to detect and investigate fraud and abuse in the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. Specifically, the Recovery Operations Center, ROC, used Palantir to integrate transactional data with open source and private data sets that describe the entities receiving stimulus funds. Other clients as of 2019 included Polaris Project, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the National Institutes of Health, Team Rubicon, and the United Nations World Food Programme. Palantir Gotham is used by counterterrorism analysts at offices in the United States intelligence community and United States Department of Defense, fraud investigators at the Recovery Accountability and Transparency Board, and cyber analysts at Information Warfare Monitor. Other clients as of 2013 included DHS, NSA, FBI, CDC, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, Special Operations Command, West Point, the Joint Tide Defeat Organization and allies. However, at the time the United States Army continued to use its own data analysis tool. U.S. military intelligence used the Palantir product to improve their ability to predict locations of improvised explosive devices in its war in Afghanistan. On February 8, 2021, Palantir and IBM announced a new partnership that would use IBM's hybrid cloud data platform alongside Palantir's operations platform for building applications. The product, Palantir for IBM Cloud Pak for Data, is expected to simplify the process of building and deploying AI-integrated applications with IBM Watson. It will help businesses/users interpret and use large datasets without needing a strong technical background. On March 5, 2021, Palantir announced its partnership with Amazon AWS. Palantir's ERP suite is now optimized to run on Amazon Web Services. One of the first notable successes of the ERP suite was with BP, which was able to save about $50 million in working capital within 2 weeks of onboarding the system. Palantir took a stake in Babylon Health in June 2021. Ali Parsa told the Financial Times that nobody has brought some of the tech that Palantir owns into the realm of biology and healthcare. Palantir operates in 2 segments. Commercial, this segment primarily serves customers working in non-government industries. Government, this segment primarily serves customers that are agencies in the U.S. federal government and non-U.S. governments. At ended September 30, 2021, they had 203 customers, including leading companies in various commercial sectors as well as government agencies around the world. During the period ended September 30, 2020, they had 142 customers. Their average revenue per customer during the trailing 12 months ended September 30, 2021 and 2020 was $7.0 million. Their average revenue for the top 20 customers during the trailing 12 months ended September 30, 2021 was $41.3 million, which grew 35% from an average of $30.7 million from the top 20 customers during the trailing 12 months ended September 30, 2020. PLTR's current stock price at the time of this video is $13.87 with a market cap of $27.79 billion. The stock is currently overvalued according to Simply Wall Street by 20.5% with a fair value price of $11.51. The company has a PB ratio of 12.4 which is overvalued based on the industry PB ratio of 4.9. PLTR currently pays no dividend. The company has earnings per share of 26, a gross margin of 77.48%, a net profit margin of -35.81%, and a debt-to-equity ratio of 0%. Karp owns 2.63% of Palantir valued at $731.50 million. Palantir is currently not profitable. With big data growing, high gross margins, and government revenues, they should be profitable within the next 5 years. Tell us what you think about the story of Alex Karp and the future of Palantir in the comment section below. Mr. Stag logging off.